Welcome to this exploration on women's voice in the contemporary literature. We'll delve into the prominent female authors and their contributions into modern literature, and how the contemporary literature tackles women issues and feminism.
Did you know that in 20th and 21st centuries, they have witnessed a remarkable surge of women's writers challenging disparities and gaining prominence in literary circles? From experimental fiction to captivating poetry, women are now pushing boundaries, defying expectation, and representing women experience.
Yes, I highly appreciate that, Ms. Lisa, and I hope our viewers would also agree that the success of female authors are important not just as a step toward greater gender equality and representation, but because it enables women in all nationalities and backgrounds to be heard. Women in this contemporary era have been reclaiming narrative authority, such as breaking silence. Women writers are breaking the silence on the issues that have been historically ignored or silenced. They are speaking truth to power, giving voice to the marginalized and oppressed. Their stories challenge societal norms and encourage critical thinking about gender roles, power dynamics, and social justice. One example of how women nowadays are breaking the silence is how Chimamanda Adichie expressed her opinion about gender roles in one of her videos on TED Talks posted in 2012. She said that gender roles or gender matters everywhere in the world, but she wants to focus on Nigeria and Africa in general because this is where she knows and her heart is. And she would like to ask that we begin to dream about and plan for a different world, a world of happier men and happier women who are truer to themselves, and this is how to start. We must raise our daughters differently. We must raise our sons differently. We do a great disservice of boys. We stifle the humanity of boys. We define masculinity in a very narrow way because in Africa and in Nigeria, men are asked to not express, or men are expected not to express their vulnerable side. Because if they do that, the society would define them as a feeble people in the society. Because men are expected to be firm always. Then the Nigerian people would say that boys should be hard always, no? But Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie defined it differently. That because she wanted to teach boys to be afraid of fear, to teach boys to be afraid of weakness, of vulnerability, and that having said that, women literary stories are not only to empower women, but also to empower men. Okay, another is challenging traditional norms. Women writers are challenging traditional norms, breaking free from established structures and conventions. They are experimenting with language, form, and narrative style, pushing the boundaries of what is considered acceptable in literature. This creative freedom allows them to express their unique voices and explore new territories in storytelling. We also have a minute, transforming literary landscapes. The emergence of women writers is transforming the literary perspectives, creating a more inclusive and diverse space for storytelling. They are bringing new perspectives, voices, and experiences to the forefront, challenging established narratives and fostering a more equitable literary world. Okay, on to our next slide. We have here the most common themes explored by women contemporary writers in the contemporary literature, beginning with the identity and self-discovery, to which they often explores the complexities of identity, particularly for women navigating societal expectations and forging their own paths. Second is the diversity and intersectionality, to which women voices in the contemporary literature are diverse and multifaceted, reflecting women's experience shaped by race, ethnicity, class, sexual orientation, and other factors. And lastly, the themes of empowerment and resistance, to which it highlights women's resilience, strength, and agency in the face of societal pressures, such as this short story of Merlinda Bobbes titled The Sadness Collector, to which the mother of Rika also struggles to live abroad. While not explicitly stated in the story, however, it dictates women's role in the society simply because in many societies, including the Philippines, there is a deeply ingrained belief that a woman's primary role is to be a caregiver, particularly to a young children. And this traditional view often leads to judgment when a Filipina chooses to work abroad, leaving her children behind. This judgment stems from a societal issues of gender inequality, where women are expected to prioritize domestic duties over their own aspirations and economic needs.
So here is the timeline in intersectionality and contemporary literature. First is the race and gender. Exploration of the intersection of race and gender, highlighting the unique experiences and challenges faced by women of color in society. Second is the LGBTQ+. Contemporary LGBTQ+ women writers challenge traditional notions of sexuality and gender identity. For instance, Joanna Lynn B. Cruz from the Philippines. Her first book, Woman Loving Stories and a Play, published in 2010, is the first sole author anthology of lesbian-themed stories in the Philippines. Third is the socio-economic status. Women writers from different socio-economic backgrounds bring to light the impact of class of the women's lives, exploring the disparities in access to resources, education, and opportunities. Moving on, we have here the most prominent female writers in contemporary literature. First is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was born in Enugu, Nigeria in 1977. She grew up on the campus of University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Her father was the professor, and her mother was the first female registrar. She studied medicine for a year at Nsukka before moving to the US at 19. Adichie graduated summa cum laude from the Eastern Connecticut State University in Communication and Political Science. She holds a master's degree in creative writing from Johns Hopkins University. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's contribution was her second novel, Half a Yellow Sun, in 2006. Gained international acclaim for its depiction of the devastation caused by the Nigerian Civil War. Her novels, short stories, and non-fictions explores the intersections of identity. Her other works include the book of essays We Should All Be Feminists in 2014, Dear Jolie, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions in 2017, a memoir, Notes on the Grief in 2021, and the children's books Mama's Sleeping Car in 2023. Next is Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn is an American author known for her contributions to the contemporary literature. She was born in Kansas City, Missouri, in the United States. Flynn attended the University of Kansas, where she studied English and journalism. In terms of hobbies, Flynn is known to be the avid reader and enjoys exploring complex and dark themes in her writing. Gillian Flynn's contribution was The Gone Girl in 2012. This novel follows the mysterious disappearance of the Ami June, on her fifth wedding anniversary, leading to the media frenzy and a complex exploration of marriage and deception. Next is The Sharp Objects in 2006. Flynn's debut novel revolves around journalist Camille Pricker as she returns to her hometown to cover the murder of the two preteen girls, delving into her troubled past and family dynamics. Lastly is Dark Places in 2009. This novel follows Libby Day, the sole survivor of the massacre that claimed her family's lives as she investigates the events of that tragic night and confronts her in her own traumatic memory.
Okay, another prominent female writer is Merlinda Bobes. She is a contemporary Filipino writer and academic who was born on November 25, 1959. Her works, written in various genres such as in Filipino and English language. She also integrates Filipino culture and tradition in her literary works with modern immigrant experience. She won Philippine National Book Award for Fish Hair Woman, that is one of her literary works, in 2014, and on the same year she also received the Philippine National Book Award for Fish Hair Woman in 2014. And her works and contributions include The Kindness of Birds in 2021. It's a collection of 14 interconnected stories that link Australia and the Philippines and pay homage to kindness across cultures and species. Next is The Sadness Collector. It is a short story about a troubled 6-year-old girl named Rika who lives with her father after her mother leaves for Paris to work as a domestic helper. We are all familiar with this story because it was tackled in one of our major courses in this program. Now, it is a girl that was afraid to share her sadness because, or no, not share, to express her sadness because the big lady might collect all the sadness and she was afraid that the big lady would burst. And the result of that, Rika was having difficulty in processing her emotion. Next is we have Dream Stories in 2014. These are among the 23 dream stories that she conjures between the Philippines and Australia. Next is we have Mia Alvar. Mia Alvar was born in Manila in 1978 and grew up in Bahrain and New York City. Wow, nice. She received an MFA in fiction writing from Columbia University and a BA from Harvard College. And in the story that is one of her literary works, she received the Jeanette Heidinger Kafka Prize, only the second short story collection to win in the award's history. In the Country, These Are the Stories in New York 2015, speaks to the heart of everyone who has ever searched for a place to call home. The book includes stories about a pharmacist in New York who smuggles drugs to his father in Manila. Next is a Filipina teacher in Bahrain who questions her marriage. And another story is a college student who leans on her brother in Saudi Arabia to support her writing ambitions, and a journalist and a nurse who faced trauma during the political turmoil in the Philippines in the 1970s and 80s.
At this moment, let me tell you about the transformative power of women's writing, which is the social impact. Women's writers have challenged societal norms and traditional literary forms. For example, the Virginia Woolf Mrs. Dalloway in 1925 and Catherine Mansfield short stories offer unique insights.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Miss Liza. In continuation to this presentation, we have here the cultural transformation. Women's writing has helped develop a language to express women's experiences and increase public awareness on women's issues. The contemporary women writers are also engaged with the issues of migration, economic inequities, cultural transformation, and transnational solidarity. Some examples include the author of Beloved in 1987 by Toni Morrison, The Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie in 2006, and The Post-War British Women Writer by Angela Carter. Next to it is the personal growth. We have women's writings inspire personal growth and self-discovery. Readers can identify with the characters and themes explored in their work, gaining insights into their own lives and experiences. Let me add that J.K. Rowling, in one of her famous novels, The Harry Potter, I learned from that novel, from that novel series, that friends can be family. And from Amy Tan, I learned that mothers and daughters can find their way back to each other. And before I continue, I should add that I am not in any way saying that I hate male authors. They are just not to the same extent as female writers. We also have male authors such as C.S. Lewis on his novel series, The Chronicles of Narnia. In the book one, titled The Magician's Nephew, there was a friendship developed along the way. The friendship of Diggory and Polly as they both uncover the mystery of Diggory's uncle prohibited room. From strangers, they turn into friends. So there are this personality of the characters that are worth emulating by the readers and also to the viewers.
How contemporary literature tackles women's issues and feminism. The rise of the feminist narratives. First is the empowerment. The feminist narratives challenge traditional gender roles and celebrate females' voices. Next is the social justice. This work highlights the experience of women facing societal injustice and inequalities. Chimamanda Adichie, Half of a Yellow Sun. Adichie's novels delve into the complexities of female identity and the impact of colonialism and war on the woman. The Americana, she explores themes of race, immigration, and self-discovery through the lens of Nigerian women in the America. Next is Gillian Flynn. Gone Girl. Flynn's novels often examine the psychological complexities of women in the relationships, exploring themes of manipulation and power dynamics. Next is The Sharp Objects. She dives into the dark side of femininity, uncovering secrets and hidden desires within female writers. Merlinda Bobbitt. Bobbitt's works use poetry to explore themes of female identity, migration, and cultural complexities. She blends the natural world with the human experience, creating beautiful and evocative imagery. Next is Mia Alvar. Alvar's short stories offer intimate glimpses into the lives of immigrant women. She highlights the challenges and triumphs of navigating new cultures and identities. Alvar's work explores themes of displacement, longing, and the search for belonging.
To conclude, the future of women's literature is bright. Women writers continue to challenge conventions, break barriers, and shape the literary landscape. Their voices are increasingly prominent, their perspectives diverse, and their stories resonate deeply with readers worldwide. As we move forward, it's crucial to continue amplifying these voices, fostering greater representation, and creating a more inclusive and equitable literary landscape for generations to come. And that would be all. Thank you so much for listening and viewing. Have a great day.